Hello and welcome to another session of the Mobile Tax Unit Service Testimonials, where you, the taxpayers, can tell us your experience at the Mobile Tax Unit bus and how we can better our services. This week, tumekuwa hapa South Rift, tumeweza kufailia returns, tumeweza kuapply for tax amnesty, and also tumeweza educate on e-teams. Tume-interact na taxpayers from Rumuruti, from Keringet, Kapsoit, Longisa, na pia Kilgoris. Let's hear what they have to say.
My name is Sally. I teach. I'm so happy today. This is a good and the best day for me. The KRA guys are here. I had a penalty of 120,000, but now it's clean. It is zero. I'm so happy.
Kutoka Rumuruti. By the way, leo nimeona basi yenu na ikakuwa msaada mkubwa kwangu. Juu nilikuwa na deni kubwa na imeweza kunitolea hiyo deni yote. So naweza omba pia mruti tena Rumuruti muwasaidie watu wenye wako na deni tu kama mimi. So now I'm free.
Vivian Gadoni Macharia kutoka hapa Rumuruti. Za electronics ninauza ufas, TVs, computers na niko registered to KRA na registered e-teams. E-teams inasaidia haraka na inarahisisha kazi ya kila mwisho wa mwezi. Unafanya mahesabu kwa uharaka na urahisi, na it is the best thing nimekuwa nayo kwa biashara yangu.
Naitwa Marian, naishi Gilgil na nafanya kazi Gilgil Town. Na leo asubuhi nikaona basi ya KRA just opposite direct my shop, na watembelea wanisaidie kunibadilishia my email, which they did, na nikafurahia sana. And on top of that, nilikuwa na swali, nilikuwa nataka wanionyeshe about tax amnesty ambayo wamenionyesha, na nikaona ni rahisi, na nafurahia kwa sababu ya kuja kwao, kwa sababu nimejua kuifanya, na I'm willing to help other people in Gilgil ambao wanataka ku apply for tax amnesty.
Kwa majina naitwa Joseph Kinyanjio Wamboi, mkazi wa hapa Gilgil Town, ambapo watu wa KRA wamekuja. Hii ni mara yao ya pili. Wamekuja kama last year walikuwa hapa na nikafile returns. Nilifile kwa 4 peoples ambao ni my family members. Tena wamekuja hii mwaka, nimefurahia tena. Nimekuja nimefile tena without any complaints. Sijakuwa nikipata complaint yote kwa yenye nimefailia. Nimeweza kuwelcome pia marafiki zangu wengine wakuje. Nimewahimiza kuhusu hiyo zero returns. Wengine wanakuja wako na madeni, wanaelezewa venye watafanya, na yote inaenda vizuri. Nimefurahia sana, na ningehimiza pia hata nyinyi watu wa KRA mkienda mashinani huko mnaambia watu kuhusu hizi habari za kufile returns. Sababu wengine wamekaa tu nyumbani na wajui kuhusu hizo filing ya returns, na inakuwa shida baadaye. So nimefurahia na nawapongeza kwa kazi njema, na Mungu amani awabariki. Asanteni sana kwa kuja Gilgil.
Kenyans, take advantage and you will be free like me. Kericho County, Kapsoit guys, take advantage.
Hold on tight.
What's over?
Let's go through time. Questions answered with a snap and a chime. Feel the beat. Feel the beat. Our path it charts. How we thrive when we do our part. Captain Shuru. Our tax makes Kenya grow with Captain Shuru. Captain Shuru. So sing the song so we can know the importance of tax on the adventures of Tuji, Taji, Captain Shuru. Captain Shuru. Captain Shuru. Captain Shuru. Let's go through time. Questions answered with a snap and a chime. Feel the beat, our path it charts. How we thrive when we do our part. Captain Shuru. Our tax makes Kenya grow with Captain Shuru. Captain Shuru. So sing the song so we can know the importance of tax on the adventures of Taji and Captain Shuru. Captain Shuru. Captain Shuru. Captain Shuru.
Unpacking taxpayer rights and tax obligation. I'd also like to introduce, we have our trainer and our sign language interpreter, the wonderful and most beautiful Cheptile as our sign language interpreter. And we also have our trainer. Trust me, we have the best trainer in terms of understanding. She's the most best. She's going to disseminate information in depth. She's going to answer your questions in terms of Q&A session. So sit tight with a pen and paper with you and with your questions right next to you in regards to taxpayer obligations and taxpayer rights. I have been your moderator, Lukundo Wamaningo. I'd like to leave the floor to Brenda.
All right. Thank you very much, Lukundo Maningo. I just want to get to hear from our audience, whether you're able to hear me wherever you are. I really like today's participants because they've been engaging us since we started. And I want to just get a quick confirmation. Philomena, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're able to hear us now. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Shadrach, thank you. Thank you very much. We are starting off today's session. Thank you so much, Yusuf Wambua or Jara. I'd like to know where we are tuning in from. I really appreciate the fact that we have people that join in from far and wide. And today I'd want to know where you're joining us from, Yusuf. Are you from within Nairobi, or you're from another county within the country? Or even if you're across the borders from outside our Kenyan borders, you can still let me know where you're joining us from. We want to have a very engaging conversation today. Somebody's saying Nicholas is getting me very clear from AFMS Company right here in Nairobi. Nicholas, you're most welcome. I want to ask our sign language interpreter joining in from Langata. Joyce, thank you. Buruburu, yes, Yusuf, I went into a Buru, thank you. Let's get to hear from more of us where we are joining in from. Cheptile, how do you say welcome? It's welcome. Yes, KRA is at the forefront of inclusivity in all that we do, and thank you for that. Douglas is from Westlands. Thank you so much. I see Ngenyile is from Mixed Day. Oh, the name of the school is Ngenyile Mixed Day Secondary. Okay. There's somebody from JKIA Charity. Thank you so much for tuning in from there. Let's get a few more people, even as I begin sharing my screen, and you can give me a confirmation that you can actually see the screen. Humphrey is at Mombasa Road. Joseph is at Dandora. Oh, we have Mr. Misiati all the way from Busia. Okay. All right. Karibu sana from Busia. I went quiet a bit because I want to share my screen. Thank you very much, Ruaraka. Who is this from Ruaraka? This is Moire from Ruaraka, and Edwin is right here in Nairobi together with Dorcas and Kiragu in Kirinyaga. I can see that our country is very well represented. If you give me a moment, I am just about to display our screen. I think it should be visible to you within the next minute or so. Thank you, John, KNH. All right, let me speak up a bit. I know there's some few people who perhaps are not hearing me very well, but I hope now I'm speaking up a bit. I hope you can hear me. That is Nicholas. Is that better? Okay. All right. So then today I want to just jump into our topic for the day. Philomena from Meru, karibu sana. We will start in a manner perhaps that is not very familiar to all of us. We have what is called an integrity anthem. So we have the Kenyan anthem, the national anthem, of course. But at KRA, we have an integrity anthem. And this is a song that we sing just depicting how much we are at the forefront to advocate integrity in our institution. And this is how the song goes. It says, Kenya yangu naipenda, nachukia ufisadi, waharibu nchi yetu, tuangamize ufisadi. Kenya yangu, ngao yangu, na upinga ufisadi, hongo mbali, rushwa mbali, tuangamize ufisadi. Ndugu yangu, mwananchi, tudumishe maadili, tufanyapo kazi zetu, tuangamize ufisadi. Tuna nia na sababu na uwezo nazo mbinu, tuungane sisi sote, tuangamize ufisadi. That is our integrity anthem right here at KRA. If you're hearing it for the first time, then please take time to learn it. We shall be doing our best to have it at the beginning of all sensitization so that we can familiarize with it. So I want to very quickly just go through the role of KRA in national development before I delve into our topic today. And I'm glad that you have joined us because we want to look at what are your rights as a taxpayer. And also we will delve a bit into understanding what we call tax obligations for you as an individual, and also if you belong to a not-for-profit organization. Those are NPOs. Okay. So as we continue with the sensitization, I would just like to all right. I was looking through the chat box. As we go through the sensitization, I'd want you to take down any questions that you might have and put them on the chat box. Towards the end, we will give you an opportunity to ask your questions, and you can also feel free to raise your hands. I know our moderator will be giving you an opportunity to respond to the questions. So then let me go back very quickly and let's look at the role of KRA in national development. There are 4 key things that we do as KRA in contributing to the development of this nation. And the first one is the key mandate as to why we are here. That is revenue mobilization. We call it domestic revenue mobilization. This is where KRA every financial year has a target and we work towards meeting this particular target. So that is the first thing. And the second thing is what we call border management. Border management. Under border management, the key driver is our key department that is called CNBC, that is Customs and Border Control, manning the borders of this country. So that's the key thing that we do as KRA to help in national development. And the key things that we look at the border are things to do with border security, and also there is a multi-agency border collaboration. That is, we collaborate with other agencies that are found within the borders of this country to enhance security and also facilitate the movement of both goods and people. The third thing that we do to enhance national development is trade facilitation. And this is a key thing that we are going to carry on even next month as we step into what we call our taxpayer month, where we are going to have a very key focus on how KRA is facilitating trade in this country. And one of the key ways that we do that is through our Customs and Border Control Division. And we are going to look at, not now, but in the coming month, that is October, we look at various things, including how our systems are facilitating trade, things to do with the regional monitoring of cargo, and so on and so forth. Lastly, KRA's role also is contributing to the ease of doing business, that is an improved business climate with respect to taxation and trading across the border. That's why we have things like simplification of tax. For example, some of us that have been, paying monthly rental income, you would know how simplified that particular process has been made just to facilitate you. So we don't operate without laws. Everything that we do, including what you're talking about, that is learning about our obligations and even the tax obligations that we are going to look at, all of them are rooted in law. They have their foundations in law. And some of the laws I have highlighted here, from the Income Tax Act to the VAT Act, to the Excise Duty Act. Some of you might be familiar with some of these acts, and some might not be familiar. But it's very good to appreciate that everything that we do are anchored on law. So I've just taken a moment to let you appreciate some of the laws that we have that KRA operates by. All right. So on to the next thing. KRA, that is the Kenya Revenue Authority, we are guided by a vision. We have a mission. And this year, the year 2024, from June, we have new values, actually. We have the values that have been in place, but we have additional new values. Our vision is to be a globally trusted revenue agency that facilitates tax and customs compliance. Okay? And then our mission, of course, is to enhance mobilization of government revenue and to facilitate growth in economic activities. I'm doing this, or I'm going through this, so that we can familiarize, because it came to our understanding that not many people are actually familiar about why KRA is in operation, or what drives us, what is our vision, what is our mission, and what are our key values. I'd want to draw your attention to where we have the values, and I hope you can see them very clearly. Initially, we used to say Kua Tech. All right, that was just the word tech with the acronym TECK. But now we are growing, and we've reinvented ourselves, and we are saying Kua Techies. Kua Techies is, we've put two additional values that we want to run with within the coming years. And trustworthy is the first one. That's our key value. Issues of ethics. Ethical. Oh my goodness. I'm just made to understand that I have been moving. I think now we are okay. All right. Okay. My apologies about that. I think I have been moving and the slides have been static at one place. But I hope you can see what I'm talking about now. Yes, I think it is very, very clear. So then, okay, I don't know whether you're able to view it much better. All right, okay. So this is what I was referring to in terms of what you need to know about KRA. And the key thing that I was talking about is our values. Techies is a term that you need to familiarize between now and the next 5 years, because we are talking about being trustworthy, we are ethical. These are the values that we want to walk by. as KRA, being competent, having competent staff, being helpful in assisting you, our taxpayers, innovative in the way we do things so that we might reinvent the wheel in some of the ways we do things so that we don't have to do things in a mundane way, and simple, making our systems and our processes simple. So these are the key values that we have as KRA. And the Kenya Revenue Authority is not just found in Nairobi. Yeah. We are found across the country. We have 7 regions. We are demarcated into 7 regions across this country, and we have the southern region, we have the South Rift region, we have the western region, we have the northern and the North Rift region, we have the central region, and of course we have Nairobi region. So that is how we have placed various KRA's offices. We have presence in these regions. And as you can see to your far right, we have a summary. This is not exactly up to date. We have additional ones that we are going to add here. But just for your knowledge, we have over 100 KRA offices across this country. We have what we call TSOs. This is a term that you will hear over and over again. Those that have had dealings with KRA before, you will appreciate that we normally talk about our tax service offices. So we have about 47 of them across the country. We are present at all the 52 Huduma centers in this nation. And then we have customs offices. Remember us talking about contributing to the security of this country. So then we have seaports, and we have what we call other ports. For instance, we have the port of Mombasa, Lamu, we have Kisumu, Kilifi, areas around Kiunga, Shimoni, Muhoro Bay, and others. Then in terms of international airports, like I saw, was it Charity? I'm trying to remember your name. But we have JKIA, we have Moi International Airport, we have Kisumu Airport, we have another at Isiolo, Wilson, and so on and so forth. So then this is just for you to appreciate a bit of background around about KRA. So then this brings us to our topic of the day today. I know we are addressing both individuals and people that have NPOs or acting on behalf of NPOs. These are what we call the not-for-profit organizations, non-profit organizations. So the key question would be then, what are these organizations, or who are we terming as not-for-profit organizations? I would have asked you this question before putting my definition out there. But these are organizations or trusts in Kenya that help the public by relieving poverty, promoting religion, or supporting education. So these are organizations or trusts in Kenya that help the public by relieving poverty, promoting religion, or supporting education. And I think I want to take a quick pause while there so that I can continue with my presentation. Thank you for your feedback. I'm sorry that we were not able to, I didn't check your messages quickly, but Briva is asking, hi, has anyone been assisting us with sign language interpretation? Thank you for your question. I see your question, and I know that indeed we are working to have our sign language interpreter on board. In fact, the key reason why I have paused a bit in terms, let me stop sharing my screen quickly so that we can get our sign language interpreter, Madam Cheptile, on board. So let me just confirm very quickly that we can get her here. I just ask for your indulgence in just a moment. This will not take long. I just want to get her on board so that she can be able to interpret for one of our and some of our taxpayers that are here and are actually waiting for the interpretation. Okay, all right. So then I have So as I do that very quickly, I just want to understand from those of us that have joined today's session, do we have people that are acting on behalf of or actually have not-for-profit organizations? I think I'd like to appreciate how many of us we have here with us today. You can comment quickly on the chat box and I'll get to see you. All right. Let me just go through the chat very quickly. In the meantime, I'd like to, yes, Philomena Kendi also has mentioned about the sign language interpreter. It's true. We are working on that very quickly, and we will be back with her in a moment. I want to draw, yes, there's someone that says, yes, we have an NPO here. Maybe you can let me know about this organization and what you do. But at this point, I'd want you to appreciate the fact that we are not only doing this right here on this particular platform, we are streaming live on KRA TV, and I have a very able team working behind making this particular broadcast a success, and they'll be posting the link there for us. So don't worry about this. We are going to be streaming. We are streaming live now, and you can find this particular recording even for your review later on. Helen says that I work in a disability organization and not for profit and no taxes. Thank you so much for letting me know. I think I want to hear from you more. Yusuf Wambo is saying that yes, you know some and you are also keen on registering one. Okay. Okay, all right. Jacqueline is saying that you are new on this. It's fine, Jacqueline. Please feel welcome. Remember that this particular platform is available for us every single Thursday. We call it Tax Thursday and Community Thursday because we are out there to cater for the various needs of our communities, including our community for the not-for-profit organization. All right, so I think our sign language interpreter now is about good to go. So let me just get her name quickly in the list just to give her the right. Let me just get her name very quickly. I'm sorry about that. I know some of these things happen because of technology, but we are going to move on together. All right. So then, Cheptile, I know they want to see your face, not just Brenda alone. I don't want to appear here by myself. Okay, then what I'll do, I'm going to ask our interpreter to just step out of the meeting and join in again, and then our team will facilitate adding you as one of our panelists. Thank you. Thank you for the support team. I have a very able team that is working behind this today. Wanjiro Mushiri is saying, I work for an organization that promotes the uptake of .ke domain name, and it's an NPO. All right, this is good to know. All right. And then Lina Tauma is saying, it's my first time being here, and I am from NPO, that is the United Disabled Persons. Okay, of Laikipia. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Lima, do you have some of your members who are here? That's why you are seeing me taking some bit of time so that we can get our sign language interpreter on board, because I did not want anyone to miss out. But thank you. Thank you, Lynette. I've seen your comment on the chat box. So then what we will do is this. We will proceed on, and then in terms of the sections that have missed the sign language interpretation, we are going to upload that particular sign language interpretation into our video that you'll be able to view on KRA TV. So don't worry about it. We have you taken care of. So then I will ask assistance from our team just to check the details of our interpreter and be able to add her as panelist so that we can proceed. At this point, allow me to go back to my presentation, because I want to now talk about a key thing that we want to look at as you as a taxpayer and you as an NPO. And as far as KRA is concerned, what are your rights? What are your rights? So I'm going back to sharing my screen up to where we left off, and I believe that it should be now visible. Should be able to see this. Yes, I think that is visible. So then this is what I want us to talk about, you as a taxpayer. And I thought this was very important, especially this week. We were having a conversation, and one of the taxpayers came to our offices and was actually very shocked that our services are offered free of charge. We don't charge any amount. And we get this question a lot, whether or not we charge for our services. And at this point, I'd like to say that all the KRA services that are offered to you are free of charge, and as far as the services are concerned. And that's why I want us to go systematically through your rights as a taxpayer, so that even while you're dealing with KRA or KRA officials, you will come from a standpoint of understanding what things are within your right as a taxpayer. Maybe our sign language interpreter can rename to an easier name to find, and then we'll add you very quickly as a moderator. So even as she does that, let's go to the very first right, and that informs why we are even holding this sensitization today, and it's called the right to information. So you as a taxpayer are entitled to complete and accurate information that is on our acts and obligations under the various acts. You will appreciate that at the beginning of this particular presentation, I did display a number of acts that KRA operates under. Everything that we do is anchored on law, and you have that right to actually understand these acts and get to know them. The information we're talking about are hosted in various platforms. What we are trying to do now is drive accessibility by hosting them in platforms that are readily accessible. For example, we have a YouTube channel that's called KRA TV, and we have presence in social media, including X, including Facebook, including Instagram, including LinkedIn. And very soon we have rolled out a WhatsApp platform that I know will be communicated to you. But we are just widening our channel so that you can be able to get accurate information that is coming directly from KRA. Okay. The other thing is regarding right to questioning us. The authority, I know KRA is an authority, but you as a taxpayer have a right to question, okay? You have a right to question. Okay, I paused to look at your comments very quickly. I saw a comment coming in as I was talking. But let me go back to my presentation. Just a moment, I'm just giving some directions to our interpreter. All right. So let me get back to this. So the second right that you have is that you have a right to question us. KRA is not, what can I say? Unquestionable. I was looking for the appropriate word. You can actually question. You can actually seek advice. That is within your right. Okay? It is not an illegality. It is not wrong for you to question. You actually have that right. This is together with impartiality. You are entitled to the impartial application of the law. It is the responsibility of KRA, that is us, to collect and to collect the correct amount of taxes, duties, levies, and fees. That's why in most cases our taxes are standardized. We have a fixed rate and we have the ad valorem rate. The fixed rate, for example, are like VAT. Currently, we know is operating at a rate of 16%, and it's not for some people; it's for all people within that category of whom VAT is applicable to. For example, those of us dealing with excise duty, we know about the ad valorem rate that you pay according to the quantities. These are scales that have been put in place just to ensure impartiality. And then again, you have the right to courtesy and consideration. This is very key, and it directly touches on us particularly because we come from a department that is very key on customer service and customer excellence. And we say that courtesy and consideration, that you're entitled to courtesy, considerate, and non-discriminatory treatment in your dealings with KRA officials. This is whether you're coming to request for information, or perhaps you're arranging for an interview, or even there could be an undertaking of an audit or any other matter, anything, any dealing that you have with KRA, you are entitled to being treated with courtesy and great consideration. And it's important for me to underscore this because some of our taxpayers, including some of us who are in this particular call, are not familiar or are not aware. I just want to ensure that our slides are moving swiftly and that we are together. Remember, keep the comments coming on the comment section. I see that the KRA TV team has posted the link online, so don't worry. For those that need the sign language interpretation, it will be available for you on the KRA TV platform. All right, so please permit me to proceed from here. So we want to look at more rights so that you know. They say information is power, and we want you to be empowered. So there is a key right that we call presumption of honesty. Presumption of honesty just simply means that we consider or we presume you to be honest until there is evidence to the contrary, so that you primarily are not looked at as a suspect in as far as tax fraud or tax dealings are concerned. There is the presumption of honesty. Okay, that is within your right. So not unless the evidence that are within our jurisdiction show otherwise, but that is your right as a taxpayer. A key one also is regarding privacy and confidentiality. Majority, if not all of you, for example, have applied for a KRA PIN, right? You have your KRA PIN both for yourself as an individual, or maybe it's for your NPO, or maybe it's for your organization, And so this is your right. And your right is that you are assured that the personal and financial information provided to KRA shall only be used for purposes of carrying out lawful duties unless we have our authority to do otherwise. Okay? Unless we have our authority to do otherwise. I'd like to ask our KRA TV to be on standby so that you can immediately play a video for us. At this point, I'd want us to take a very quick short break so that we can respond to the views and the queries that are available on the chat box, and then I will take it back up shortly. So I request our KRA TV, even on this particular platform of KRA WebEx, to please play a video. I want to stop sharing my screen at this point, and I just give you the opportunity to share your screens for a very, very, very short break.
Hello and welcome to another session of the Mobile Tax Unit Service Testimonials, where you, the taxpayers, can tell us your experience at the Mobile Tax Unit bus and how we can better our services. This week, tumekuwa hapa South Rift, tumeweza kufailia returns, tumeweza kuapply for tax amnesty, and also tumeweza kueducate on e-teams. Tumeinteract na taxpayers from Rumuruti, from Keringet, Kapsoit, Longisa, na pia Kilgoris. Let's hear what they have to say.
My name is Sally. I teach. I'm so happy today. This is a good and the best day for me. The KRA guys are here. I had a penalty of 120,000, but now it's clean, it is zero. I'm so happy.
Naitwa kutoka Rumuti. By the way, leo nimeona basi yenu na ikakuwa msaada mkubwa kwangu. Juu nilikuwa na deni kubwa na imeweza kunitolea hiyo deni yote. So naweza omba pia mruti tena Rumuti muwasaidie watu wenye wako na deni tu kama mimi. So now I'm free.
Lilian Gadoni Macharia kutoka hapa Rumuruti za electronics, ninauza ufas, TVs, computers na niko registered to KRA na registered teachings. Hii teachings inasaidia haraka na inarahisisha kazi ya kila mwisho wa mwezi. Unafanya mahesabu kwa uharaka na urahisi, na it is the best thing nimekuwa nayo kwa biashara yangu.
Naitwa Marian, naishi Gilgil na nafanya kazi Gilgil Town. Na leo asubuhi nikaona basi ya KRA just opposite direct my shop, na watembelea wanisaidie kunibadilishia my email, which they did, na nikafurahia sana. And on top of that, nilikuwa na swali, nilikuwa nataka wanionyeshe about tax amnesty ambayo wamenionyesha, na nikaona ni rahisi, na nafurahia kwa sababu ya kuja kwao, kwa sababu nimejua kuifanya, na I'm willing to help other people in Gilgil ambao wanataka ku apply for tax amnesty.
Kwa majina naitwa Joseph Kinyanjio Amboi, mkazi wa hapa Gilgil Town, ambapo watu wa KRA wamekuja. Hii ni mara yao ya pili. Wamekuja kama last year walikuwa hapa na nikafile returns. Nilifile kwa 4 peoples ambao ni my family members. Tena wamekuja hii mwaka, nimefurahia tena. Nimekuja nimefile tena without any complaints. Sijakuwa nikipata complaint yote kwa yenye nimefailia. Nimeweza kuwelcome pia marafiki zangu wengine wakuje. Nimewahimiza kuhusu hiyo zero returns. Wengine wanakuja wako na madeni, wanaelezewa venye watafanya, na yote inaenda vizuri. Nimefurahia sana, na ningehimiza pia hata nyinyi watu wa KRA mkienda mashinani huko mnaambia watu kuhusu hizi habari za kufile returns. Sababu wengine wamekaa tu nyumbani na wajui kuhusu hizo filing ya returns, na inakuwa shida baadaye. So nimefurahia na nawapongeza kwa kazi njema, na Mungu amani awabariki. Asanteni sana kwa kuja Gilgil.
Kenyans, take advantage and you will be free like me. Kericho County, Kapsoid guys, to take advantage.
Hello and welcome to another session of the Mobile Tax Unit Service Testimonials, where you, the taxpayers, can tell us your experience at the Mobile Tax Unit bus and how we can better our services. This week, tumekuwa hapa South Rift, tumeweza kufilia returns, tumeweza kuapply for tax amnesty, and also tumeweza kueducate on e-teams. Tumeinteract na taxpayers from Rumuruti, from Keringet, Kapsoit, Longisa, na pia Kilgoris. Let's hear what they have to say.
My name is Sally. I teach. I'm so happy today. This is a good and the best day for me. The KRA guys are here. I had a penalty of 120,000, but now it's clean, it is zero. I'm so happy.
Naitwa kutoka Rumuti. By the way, leo nimeona basi yenu na ikakuwa msaada mkubwa kwangu. Juu nilikuwa na deni kubwa na imeweza kunitolea hiyo deni yote. So naweza omba pia mruti tena Rumuti muwasaidie watu wenye wako na deni tu kama mimi. So now I'm free.
Lilian Gadoni Macharia kutoka hapa Rumuruti za electronics, ninauza ufas, TVs, computers na niko registered to KRA na registered teachings. Hii teachings inasaidia haraka na inarahisisha kazi ya kila mwisho wa mwezi. Unafanya mahesabu kwa uharaka na urahisi, na it is the best thing nimekuwa nayo kwa biashara yangu.
naitwa Marian, naishi Gilgil na nafanya kazi Gilgil Town, na leo asubuhi nikaona basi ya KRA.
So much for your patience. Now that we are all on board, I want to continue to the next rights that we have, and this is where we were. And I hope it's legible for you. We were talking about your right to the presumption of honesty, your right to privacy and confidentiality. And now the next right that I want to talk about is the right to consistency and equity. What do I mean by consistency and equity? We, as KRA, apply the law consistently so that everyone pays the right amount of taxes. We take your particular circumstances into account as far as the law is concerned. And I want to use an example for those of us that are employed, just to bring the point home. If you're employed and you have an employer right here in Kenya, and if the income that you get meets the minimum threshold for taxation under what we call pay as you earn, that is pay, that is on a monthly basis, we are talking about an amount of 24,000 per month, or if we are talking about yearly, your income is 288,000 per year. Okay, so if that is what you earn from your employer, then we know that you fall within a threshold that is called the minimum threshold, which is 10%. That is where the equity comes in, so that now, as your pay increases, then the percentage by which the pay tax is charged on you changes up to a maximum of, because we move from 10%, we go to 25%, we go to 30%, we go to 32.5%, and we get to 35%. For anyone who is earning above 800,000, for example, we know that the taxation rate will come to 35%. We know that, let me give another example. We said 24,000 is the minimum, okay? And then onto that, the next 800, is it 800? It should come to around 32,000, there about 32, 33,000. Then we know that you're taxed at a rate of 10 to 25%, okay? And then now we move to the next threshold, that is 30%. So this is what we mean that we apply equity in terms of, we apply the law consistency so that everyone pays the right amount of taxes. Now, let's go on to another very, very, very important right that you have as a taxpayer, and I hope that you pay keen attention to this. You have a right to demand an official KRA identification card from any of our staff, especially those that are visiting or serving you on official duties. I heard some people talking about that they run schools, or perhaps you run businesses, and sometimes that would warrant a KRA officer coming to your premise. Philomena from Meru, right? There's a question that I saw, though I'll revisit my chat box, but if I remember it often, you had talked about expound more on what we mean by the ad valorem rate when we're talking about excise duty. That rate just simply means that you are charged a particular amount of tax based on a particular quantity of a product. Yeah. So, for example, when we talk about alcohol, to the particular measure of a particular measurement of alcohol will be charged an excise duty rate of a particular percentage. I hope I'm making sense. So I want to use excise duty as an example as to why you might require identification. If, for example, today you decide that you want to be a manufacturer, you want to manufacture water or something, and you are setting up a manufacturing plant somewhere, wherever you live, or maybe you have gotten a premise somewhere, one of the things or one of the requirements for you to obtain accreditation by us would be a KRA officer would come and physically visit your premise. Okay. All right. Let me adjust my volume and just ensure that you can hear me. So one of our officers would physically need to come to your office, or rather to your premise, to do the inspection. I'll go back to sharing my screen, but I've stopped sharing so that I can demonstrate this practically and what I mean. So when the officers do come, and I hope you can see me now, but when the officers do come, then we have something that looks like this. I hope you can see my lanyard. Oh, you cannot hear me, Henry. Okay. Henry Chopeta Anthony Kabasa, can you hear me? Please give me a thumbs up or give me a go ahead. Peter Mwaura, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. I hope Joyce, Job, you can now hear me and we are able to proceed. Anthony, you still cannot hear me? Sharon, thank you, thank you. I was a bit worried there that I was talking to myself. Ruth, yes, you can hear me. So over to my demonstration. This is what I was talking about. KRA officers work with an identification document. Okay. A sample is what I am wearing here. We have a lanyard and some of them are branded with the KRA brand. All KRA employees must, the word is must have a valid identification badge. Okay. It will contain the name of the KRA officer. It will contain what we call the staff number of the KRA officer. It will contain the national ID number of the KRA officer, and then it will contain what we call the card serial number. So in addition to that, you will also see the face of the KRA officer in that particular ID. There will be a passport photo, a face for the KRA officer, and of course, the logo of KRA in that particular identification document, card. This is a digital device, meaning that it's not a paper. Okay, this is a digital device. It means it has information that is stored here that is digital. So it is not a paper ID, perhaps like the old IDs that are laminated. No. It's a digital device, so meaning that if you were to see it, it looks like some of these smart cards that we have. So then that is what you need to know as a Kenyan taxpayer, that you have the right to the identification of a KRA employee. And during next month's sensitization, as we are crossing over to the month of October, we are going to talk about how we have digitally gone to enhance your ability to identify genuine KRA staff. We do have an app, but I will not discuss much about it today. It was not part of our topic of discussion. We have a valid app that is currently working that you can actually use to identify our staff. But I think I have made my point in as far as it is your right to ask for the identification of our staff. And if at all you have any apprehension or hesitation regarding the authenticity of some people that might come to your premise purporting to be KRA staff, you can very easily call our call center number and report. All right, so let me go back to my particular device, and I'm glad that we are now on board together with our sign language interpreter. Ronald, thank you for your feedback together with Ruth. I think let me just move my microphone a bit closer to my mouth so that my voice does not, or rather the volume of my voice does not go low. So back to our presentation, I'm just sharing my screen to where we were. So this is where we were. We were talking about you having a right to request for the identification of KRA staff. Okay. So the next right that you have as a taxpayer, and I am projecting it, is what we call representation. Representation. Representation means that as a taxpayer, you have the right to be represented by an authorized or a licensed agent of your choice. Okay? You have the right to be represented by an authorized or licensed agent of your choice. This is very important because it means in your dealings with KRA, you may, for some reason or another, you may not want to deal directly with KRA, and that is okay. What you need to do is have an authorized representative of your choice. Let me give an example of some things that happen here at KRA. So, for instance, if you receive an email, say of a KRA officer inviting you to come to KRA for one reason or another, maybe it's a compliance matter, or maybe you want to add some obligations in your KRA PIN. Maybe you're an NPO, you have gotten more employees. Perhaps you want to hire an accountant here, you want to hire a HR manager there, maybe you want to hire somebody who will head your operations. And in terms of your pay, they have met the threshold that we were talking about initially, which is the minimum threshold for pay as you earn. So then, in terms of the addition, you can have somebody act for you, or they can even visit our offices to make an inquiry on your behalf, as long as they have the necessary authorization. In most cases, you're dealing with a licensed tax agent. When you talk about a licensed tax agent, is that there are some people who are recognized by KRA as tax agents. They went through a particular process up until they were approved and they were accredited. They were given that particular position, and they can legally act on behalf of taxpayers. Or perhaps you have an accountant somewhere, a friend who understands these things, an auditor, and you want to send them. In most cases, you would have to do a letter consenting and saying that I have given this particular person the right to act on my behalf. Okay. So, for instance, if selected for an audit, you may have a right to be notified in advance. Okay, I've gone to another right, but let me just finish on the representation. That is very key for you to know. But how we weed out fraud so that we don't have people purporting to be acting on behalf of others is that this authorization part is very, very important. Now, let's go on to more rights. So if you are selected for an audit, okay, you may have a right to be notified in advance, although in certain circumstances, it may be necessary to conduct an impromptu audit or inspection. For some of you that have run companies over time that have been subject to audit queries, you might understand this point, that our officers will notify you in advance. You will get an email, you will get a call regarding an impending audit query that is coming. So you have a right to be notified in advance. But in some circumstances, especially by if yours is a fraud case, for instance, or there are compliance questions, then sometimes it might be necessary to conduct an impromptu audit that you might not necessarily get notified in advance. Now, if you are in agreement with the findings or part of the findings of an audit or investigation, you'll be expected to make immediate payments of the agreed or partly agreed liability together with the penalties to avoid further interest or additional tax accruing. And then lastly, you are entitled to dispute an assessment within 30 days. Now, the last 2 points, I don't want to dwell so much on them because these are procedural, these are compliance matters. We will have another sensitization that we're going to look at our audit processes, when you can respond to an assessment. I know some of these terms might be foreign to some of us when we talk about audit, when we talk about an assessment, when we talk about disputing an assessment. We've scheduled presentations or sensitizations for you just to understand KRA processes. There are different processes based on what we are talking about. If you're talking about a compliance issue, an audit issue, a registration matter, an amendment, tax amendment issue, there are various processes that we're going to look at. But allow me to stop there at this point. There are two key things that we needed to do today. That is understanding the taxpayer obligation rights, which I have taken time to really go through. And the second bit is understanding our tax obligations. Now, normally our trainings go on for an hour's time, between 11 and 12. I would like to pause here, considering it's already 5 minutes past noon. However, with this caveat, next week on Thursday, still I will be the same person continuing with this particular presentation, and I'm going to delve very deeply into the matters of tax obligations. And for those of us that have joined today's sensitization, please be on the lookout. We will again share the same a link to your emails for next week's sensitization, where now we are going to delve deeper into now the very specific tax obligations. Allow me to stop sharing the screen so that I can see your names now that I cannot see you. But next week on Thursday, and take note, I will start immediately on the tax obligations, because we have quite a number of them to cover, and I'd want to cover as many as possible. I've hinted here and there about a few of them. We've talked about pay, we've talked about excise duty, we've talked about MRI, that's monthly rental income, but we're going to look at them in depth next week. So please keep it here and keep it KRA TV so that you can get informed. And I want to pick out your questions at this point, because we are drawing to the end of today's sensitization. But I hope from where you sit, if I was to ask you, what have you learned today in terms of your right as a taxpayer? Are you able to tell me 2 or 3 rights that you know that you have as a taxpayer? All right. Are you able to tell me 2 or so rights that you know that you have as a taxpayer? Jackie, maybe you can tell me, and very quickly just respond to me. What right has stood out for you, or what can you remember from the presentation that we have had today as your right as a taxpayer? Jacqueline, Mariam, at least I want to hear. Even if you want to speak, I'll give you an opportunity to speak, and we are open for questions. I think for the next 5 or so minutes, we are open for questions. Lynette Auma is saying, thank you for your informative presentation. You're most welcome. That is primarily why we are here. And remember, one of the key rights that we started with is your right to information. And we are doing our best now to go out of our way to give you the right information. And we are using a diverse number of channels to be able to disseminate them for you. So let me just hear from you, and your feedback is highly welcome. Maybe type a right that you remember on the chat box very quickly. Which right is this that you remember, and any question that you might have. Ruth is saying that thank you for the presentation. We are looking forward to hearing more next Thursday. Ruth, I'll be looking for your name in the list of the participants. Philomena is saying, wow, you're a good student. If you are in my class, I think I would have given you something. You've talked about representation, right to question, right to information. This is very well done. Jacqueline Mariam is saying the right to information. Thank you so much. Job is saying the right to identification. Very true. Impartiality, to question us as Carrie, right to privacy and confidentiality. And I like what you have ended with. You're talking about to be treated with courtesy. Thank you, Job. Thank you. Excellent A student. ETPL. I don't know your name. Your name sounds like EPL. For football fans here, we almost got excited, but you're talking about privacy and equity. All right, thank you. Thank you. Charles Misiati is saying right to representation. Well done. Shadrach is saying thank you for the informative training. And Joyce Chepkoru is talking about right to representation. Wow. Thank you. This is I know there's how you clap for people using this emoji. Is what I want to do. Where is it? No, better still, Cheptile, let's appreciate them with sign language. So how do we clap? Yeah, this is our clapping for you. Thank you so much. let me just read the last few comments, and then I want to hand it over to a very able moderator to guide us on how we are concluding this. But Peter is saying, I have a question regarding the paying of business permits. I don't know whether, as persons with disability, we are supposed to pay. These are business permits. Okay, Peter Maura, thank you for your question. Business permits, the question is not directly touching on matters taxes, but I've noted your question, Peter Maura. These are business permits in terms of for the county. Maybe you can please specify specifically what you mean by business permit so that I can understand you better. And the last two comments, Ruth is saying, oh, wow. Ruth. I like what I'm seeing. Right to information, right to question, and impartiality, right to collect the correct amount of taxes and levies and fees, right to courtesy and consideration, right to consistency and equity. And yes, this statement is very important, that the presumption of honesty, unless there is evidence of the contrary. I like, this is an executive summary. You should actually take what Ruth has said as the summary. The last comment, and then Cheptil and I will be on our way out. Time is well spent. It's now 11 minutes past 12. Linet Auma says, what I have learned, I have a right to question, I have a right to identification, I have a right to representation, to courtesy, consideration, and non-discrimination. Lynette, this is yours. This is how we clap for you with our sign language. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is just the time that we had for you today. So we can say part one is done. I'd expect to see all of you here next week. We do the part two. Now we look at the tax matters and we look at the tax obligations. Peter Maura, please leave us your contact details. Kindly just send us an inbox or just DM me and write your question, write your number there as you give us clarity in terms of which business permits we are talking about. That's it. Time does fly when you're having fun. Our KRA TV crew is appreciative of your time today. Thank you so much, our TV crew. Make sure you check us out. Winnie, thank you. Yes, please, we can clap. Thank you so much. This is me taking down Peter's number so that we can get back to him. Let me just take down. Peter, you have a right to confidentiality, so I'll just ask you to please take down your number because we already have it. You can delete it from the chat box. But yes, thank you. Let's clap. Let's clap for Cheptile. Let's clap for our moderator for KRA TV. Use the emojis for clapping. Yes, Eve Kamau, thank you very much. And even all our persons who are able differently, this is our clap for you. We are thanking you. Thank you so much. All right, Cheptile, you want to say kwaheri? Okay, she did. And
hi everyone, thank you for your time.
Fantastic. So thank you and bye. So thank you and bye-bye.